Hey, everybody, welcome to Love and Reload, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross, and I'm so blessed and honored to be here with Danilo Rodrigues from Fink Mobility in Brazil. Danilo, how are you doing today?
I'm great, Ben. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm good. Thank you.
Oh, it's fun to have our Brazilian friends with us. They always bring the spice and the energy and the heat. It's hot where you are. It's freezing cold here in the States. It's like 15 degrees Fahrenheit. How hot is it where you are?
Yeah, here in São Paulo, is 31 degrees Celsius.
31 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
If you're in the comments right now, can you please tell me what that is in Fahrenheit? I am a hopeless American.
In
Okay.
Fahrenheit.
Yes, somebody do the calculation. I'm dying to know how hot it is there in Sao Paulo. Thank you so much for being here with us, Danilo. Today, get in the comments, everybody. I want to know who you are, where you are. Check in with us. We're going to be talking about some really cool topics, some stuff we've never talked about before on Love and Relo. And this is our 5th year, everybody. Okay, doing this amazing show for y'all, and we couldn't do it without all of you out there. And today we're going to be talking about, what is it like to be a deaf expat? How do we handle our deaf expat population and make sure that they have a successful relocation and they're cared for, right? So, what are the DE and I implications around the hearing impaired? I want to understand this. This is something that our guest today, Danilo, is working on, and I want to understand, why he's working on that. Why is that a purpose that he's been focusing on? What are some of the challenges? What are some of the solutions? We're going to be getting into all that and the other ways that DE and I can kind of play an impact. And we're going to also talk about things like lump sum allowances. I mean, what a hot button issue, right? This is something we've been dealing with for a long time. We're going to double click into that and see kind of how that's trending in the Southern Hemisphere and kind of get a perspective on that and see if it's any different from what we're seeing up here in the northern side here. But get in the comments. I want to hear from you all, okay? Hit that like button, check in with us. Adrian Grimes, welcome and hello from Glomo HQ in Dallas. Thank you, Adrian. Guys, we love Adrian. I mean, without Adrian, I wouldn't be here right now. The camera would be pointed over there. Okay, I wouldn't even be in the frame. This guy's, lifesaver. I wouldn't have show notes because I don't know how to use a printer. Thank you, Adrian, for being here. Appreciate you. And without Jana Chazanowski, Danilo, I don't know if you'd be here.
No,
Thanks,
not.
Jana.
Aben is 87 Fahrenheit and 31 degree.
All right, 87.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's hot. It's hot.
It's balmy, it's warm. It's toasty. Jana, what's it in Rio, Jana? Because Jana gets the heat down there, I'll tell you what. She says, happy Wednesday, everyone. So exciting to see one of my favorite professionals in the industry. The honor to call you friend. Proud of you.
Yeah,
thanks,
she's
Jana.
a great friend.
Isn't Jana amazing connector?
Yeah, she is. She have a energy so properly, and I love Jana. Jana is one of the best friend that I met in last year in Dublin in Europe.
How did you meet Jana? Tell me the story. Everybody's got a Jana story. How'd you meet Jana?
No, I have Jana in LinkedIn for a long years, and in WSA, I met this Jana sometimes before, and I say, you are Jana, right? Yes. And you're Danilo, right? Yes. Oh, come on. And we have some speak a little bit of everything, and we drink some beers, and it's a very good friend that I have met in São Paulo, in Abemi, and other events that we have been.
And you mentioned some great organizations there too. And we've got Andrea here checking in from Sampa.
It's a cute name for São Paulo. It's an abbreviation for São Paulo. It's a cute name. Like Johannesburg, and you say Joburg, and it's a cute name for São Paulo.
Sampa. So can I say Sampa? Like, oh, you want a Sampa?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm cool now. I'm cool in Brazil. You hear that, Jana? I'm cool now, okay? You mentioned some cool organizations. You mentioned World ERC, you mentioned Europe, but you also mentioned ABEMI. And I think
Yes.
such an incredible organization from everything I've seen and heard about it, and Rajana told me. But I think a lot of folks, in my area and in US maybe haven't heard of it. Can you tell people who aren't familiar about ABEMI?
Yeah, Zabem is association, a Brazilian association that specialists in immigration and mobility here in Brazil for support all the companies that we do a very good job to understand in all areas that we can attack for help our clients and help as well for us, so we can understand better all the sectors and see the part of the score credit for the expat, helping in the temporary accommodation as well. And we connect all the companies together to do a good brainstorm and see what we can do together to help everyone.
Love it. I love it. I hear it's a fantastic place to make connections and partnerships that we all
Yeah,
need to work across the globe.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And the events is amazing.
Francine checking in. Hey, Francine, getting the comments here. I love it. If you've got questions here for Danilo, put them in the comments here. I appreciate all of our Brazilian friends right now checking in, because I tuned in to Brazil Talks, to our good friend Patricia Tavares there. I see Jana sometimes speaking in Brazil Talks. I'll tune in and I'll watch. Danilo, I don't know what's going on. So I love the fact the Brazilians come here, they support. I love it. I love it. And you know what else? I have so much respect. I was actually talking to Christina Blondheim last night, and she was talking about Jana when Jana was speaking at Worldwide ERC on the YP40 panel, and she was up there and she was moderating the panel, and it was about expat experiences abroad and everything. And there was a moment where we had to stop and just congratulate everybody who came out to speak, because they're speaking in their non-native language. And all of us, native English speakers in the audience, were half of us would have been too scared to even get on that stage in English. And yet there's people up there speaking in their non-native language. And I just applaud everybody who has the courage to speak and do business in their non-native language. It's really incredible.
Yeah.
And to tune in and watch my ridiculousness in English is great. Hey, what's up? Look at this. Christian, what's up? Andrea. Farrell, Elliot checking in from California. Nice to see you again, Danilo, Farrell says.
Hello, Farrell. Hello, everyone.
And look, you're getting compliments already. You haven't even said anything yet. I haven't even let you talk yet. Marcella saying Danilo is one of the best coworkers I've had the pleasure to work with. So proud of you as well. How do you know Marcella?
I worked with Marcella at Crown Worldwide here in Brazil. Well, I have a very good time together. She's a very good teacher in the mobility service, and I learned a lot with Marcella as well.
So tell us real quick also about Fink, okay? Because we had the pleasure of Laura on a couple of years ago. She was unbelievable. Tell people who may not be familiar with Fink Mobility.
Yeah, Fink Mobility is a Brazilian company. We accomplish 100 years this year.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. When we talk about Brazilian companies accomplish, not Brazilian companies around the world, what we accomplish 100 years is unbelievable. And we very proud of that. Me, Cristiane as well, is my director here in São Paulo, and Laura. And we start, and 100 years before we start with the part of household goods, movings, and we grow up and go into the part of sending some arts and helping the museums and galleries, and also now we have more than 12 years the relocation sector, and I came back to Fink to help to restructure the area with Laura and all my team for relocation, and we going up to relocation, doing the relocation grow up and improving more and more.
Yeah, and Fink is an incredibly diversified company. That's one of the things I was most impressed about as I started to learn more about all the different things that Fink does. besides just moving, right? I mean, shipping, right? I mean, y'all really get into some stuff.
Yeah, we have very good clients here in São Paulo with contracts that we have more than 68 years, and we can give the best service for moving services or relocation and other services that we can provide. And when we have the best team as well, we do here at Fink, not just in São Paulo, but also in Rio de Janeiro and Brasilia. We do one point focal point for the contact in the clients, just not for the corporate, but also for the privates as well.
So fantastic stuff. I want to go and talk a little bit about this whole idea of how we support deaf expats, because this is something I'm not hearing anybody talk about. And I'm just really interested when I heard that you want to talk about this. First, before we get into how we're helping them, why is this important to you, Danilo?
For me, as you mentioned before, is a purpose that I think that I see opportunity to help the people that they don't have opportunity to go abroad, and I see that the companies, they try to do something for these people, but they do just in the policies, they do just on the book, they don't do other long steps away. So I try to give more, open the range and say, no, you can do more. We can do more together. So I try to find some technology that we have here in Brazil, the best ones that we have here in Brazil, and we can do this. We can do support the deaf people going to abroad, and deaf people come to Brazil or to South America as well. And for me, is as I mentioned in my LinkedIn, is help people going around the world with the best services, the best solution. And I don't mention normal people, I mention everyone. So for me, it's not, I don't have difference. And for me, it's people. I need to help people. So this is my purpose of my life.
Wow, that's great. That's wonderful. Do you find that folks who are hearing impaired or deaf are offered assignments less often because of their impairment?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that, but it's one thing that I think is the people, they don't have opportunity, but a lot of deaf people, they have university, they have schools, they have all skills to have a good job, and I think that we can see more the people and bring these people for our round and say, no, you have opportunity to work at a big company, in a global company, and you can be a manager, you can be a director, you can be maybe a CEO. And it's difficult, but we need to try more.
Yeah, it's interesting when we look at the disparity, between certain groups and the access to opportunities that seems to be at the root of some of those disparities, right? And it could be access at an early age to education or to kind of social groups and mentoring, or once we're in the workforce, right? I mean, these opportunities, access to promotions or assignments, in other departments or in other regions, all of these things open up opportunities, which open up more and more opportunities. And it seems like there's probably a kind of a compounding effect where, it really starts to add up over time, the amount of opportunities that you lose out on. So what's the answer? I mean, how do we create a more inclusive global mobility program, specifically as it pertains to deaf employees?
Yeah, I think this is a good question, then, but we need to understand and go out the policies. because I know that policies that block some companies that we can do more. And for be more inclusive, I think we need broke the policies, and okay, but we need to broke the policies in some good ways, but we need to see uh, over the policies. We need to go more and do more for they. And one thing that I think, and one event that I have been last year in McDonald's is they they say a good thing is we need to do more for the family, for the deaf people, or inclusion for all the kind of people, because the family, they try to protect a lot. If you have a child, their child with a blind or deaf, you try to protect from the wrong word. And we need to do say for the parents. No, you can do that. We need to give the opportunity of the word and open the word for your son, your child, and say no, go for it and take your place in the word. And this is difficult because when we talk about HR, they try to do all the part of policies and by the book and say no, I can do more than that, we can do more that, and we go and jump in lump sum as well. So the lump sums that we mentioned is one thing that we discuss, because the lump sum is very blocked. So, and when you talk about diversity as well, is the same. So I think that we try to uh, do more education for all the kind of people, and after that we try to re-education these people and do more for everyone. It's good for benefit for around the world.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And you brought up lump sums, and I think it's really interesting. Like, how does lump sum? We got people checking in here. This is great. Love it. Jana checking in here. Dalita checking in here. So super cool. Get in the comments. I want to hear your questions. If you have questions or comments about what Danilo's talking about inclusion, please put them into the conversation, because we're talking about inclusion, but I want to make an inclusive environment here where we can all kind of bring questions, and don't worry about the English or whatever. Gosh, you could even put it in Portuguese if you want to. Danilo, I'm sure we can take the questions in Portuguese and give you the answers in English too. I mean, just go feel free to put them in there however you feel most comfortable. Okay. Uh, you talk about lump sums, and what does lump sums have to do with inclusion and for deaf expats and such?
We need to understand and better the individual needs, and say that factor like cost of life and some personal lifestyle that they mentioned. I remember in the past I have a CEO coming from other countries to Brazil, so inbound, and he don't mention in the initiation form that he have a special child. He don't mention. And I ask you, you need some special condition, or your child, and or your wife or your husband, I don't know. They say no, I don't have. And when we speak with his wife, and she's like, no, we have a special child, and say, oh really? Tell me more about. So I think that one particular that we need to broke this barrier, I think they don't mention that because they have maybe they don't want to the company know about this child, this, but I don't know really. I don't ask him about that, but we need to understanding the individual needs, and but we need the true of the other side, not just for the HR as well, but the expat and the family. So we need to understand the part of considering to be more careful to do a tailor lump sum allowances effectively.
Yeah, that's interesting that folks wouldn't disclose that they have a special needs child. when they've probably been dealing with this, their whole life, and you would think that they would be sensitive to that and forthright about it. But I mean, I guess it's hard to understand how people feel until you're in that spot. So I guess I'd just be curious why a family wouldn't feel comfortable. Because I mean, the first step is knowing, and if we don't
Yeah.
know, then we can't make accommodations or can't create policies that are adaptive. So do we have to ask the question? And I guess I'm wondering, I'm kind of talking through this here. Do we have to ask the question in a different way, maybe that draws out the answers that we need in order to provide the care that we need to provide?
Yeah, the mobility advisor that we need to, as a relocation professional, we need to be careful when we do a approach and this particular questions, because in sometimes they don't want to give the right answer. Uh, but we need to understand all the needs to give the best solution, and help the not just the expat, but help the HR to save money. So this is one goal that we have at myself and at Fink as well. We do the best for save money for the our clients. So not save money, save time, and give the best services that we can do for everyone.
When we talk about these services, I mean, what types of technology have you seen out there, or could you recommend that can support deaf expats and their families?
Yeah, we here in Brazil, I met in the event one technology is Icon company. His name is Icon. They they have real time translation for deaf people, that they have English, French, Spanish, and Portuguese, and we they try to give some pick up some other professionals that speak other language. But we can do is print a QR code on the on in the cell phone, on everywhere, and you can take a picture of the QR code, and 5 minutes you go in the real-time translation with deaf people, and can translation the conversation with your manager, your team, or the person in the hospital as well. You can help if with that. And here in São Paulo, they apply in all hospital, that the municipal hospitals here, they give this technology, that when the wife came um, is pregnant, and they do all the procedures with this technology, to the hospital can give all information and translate, and for the deaf people is good because it's real time. It have a cost as well, but okay, maybe we can see how much is cost for the company, is value, is have a value for money or not. So is a good technology.
Wow. So, so what would something like that cost? Like, I mean, what are we talking about? That kind of a technology? Is it something that we have to totally rewrite all of our software, or is it something that they can plug into our existing software suite?
No, you can do in the real time conversation, Google Meet or Teams. You can choose what platform did you prefer. That you what platform did you have in your mobile and or your tablet. And when you jump for the call, you wait for like 5 minutes, almost 8 minutes, and the operation on the other side came to you in the same platform as real time.
Wow. Get in the comments. I want to know what you think about this kind of translation software. I want to know what you think about these kinds of solutions for deaf expats. English, Portuguese, whatever you want, put it in there. We got Nicole Barilli here, a good friend of the show. We love Nicole here, checking in on Facebook. I love all the different platforms.
Yeah.
Obrigado, Danilo.
Obrigado. De nada.
Por falar sobre. I'm trying to read this here. Help me out here. Sobre ese asunto. How do I do?
Yeah, thank you, Daniel, for talk about this matter.
Oh, very good.
Yeah,
Nicole. Oh, Nicole. So
thank you,
sweet.
Nicole.
Let's see here. Farrell's got a question. Get in the comments. I want to hear your questions. This is a fascinating topic to me that we just never have talked about on this show. I don't hear it talked about much. And that's one of the problems because we're not talking about, we're not normalizing, people's, just everyday lives and conditions and just the way people are living. And I think by not talking about it, by not normalizing it, we don't know how to handle it. We don't know that there is a solution. Therefore, we don't even go down the pathway because we're afraid to even go there. So I think it's so important that we're having these conversations. And Danilo, thank you again for talking about it. Farrell says, does AI play a role in these translation situations? Oh, interesting.
Yeah, yeah. No, they have a human person, and other side they do a translation from the. Here in Brazil, is the name is Libras, but I don't. It's different around the world. So here in Brazil, they translate for other language for English to Libras here in Brazil. But we can. It's very exciting because we can exchange the Libras for other language. Is I have one company here that we know that they do and already do in the team. They contract deaf people, and they have in the I forgot the name in English. Sorry, guys. In the photo that you I forgot the English. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, but they all the employees have the QR code, and when they find deaf people that want to have a discussion or a brainstorm or have a meeting, they read the QR code and go jumping in real time with the people. And this company is a Swiss company that they implementize here in Brazil, and try to see if it's possible to give this for other parts around the world. So we we try to do the best for these people. This is universally inclusion. So
Love it. Fantastic. We got comments coming in. Keep the comments and questions coming in. Farrell, that's a great question. Keep them coming in. Nicole said this is one reason why intercultural training is important. Each country deals with inclusion and diversity in different ways. Is this cultural, the way these things are handled?
yeah, yeah. And one thing, yeah, and when we mention about intercultural training, the cultural is very difficult that we try to discuss with HR, and when we try to discuss the cost to try to sell intercultural training, we call it thank you for mentioning that, because it's very important that we can mention, and then we can provide opportunity to understand better other cultures, to understand better how the Chinese is different from Brazilian, and how they different from the Americans, and from the French. So we is important to discuss that. But when we mention about the part of deaf people, is totally cultural, because we don't see, as you mentioned, you never talk about this matter before. So it's important that we try to go go for it and abroad and talk more about that subject.
Yeah, really great. People are enjoying this topic and subject. Jana, also exactly what I thought. We need to bring this topic up because it's so relevant. Proud of you, Danilo. Yeah. Speak up. Danilo, did you have anyone in your life that you knew, like personally, who was deaf or hearing impaired? Just curious.
No, not in my personal life. And I met in some events, and it's very interesting because they have a translation in real time in the event. But is one thing that I want to, my goal for not this year, maybe not next year, is to learn about how can I communicate with deaf people in here in Brazil in Libras. It's very difficult. It's more easy that you can learn Chinese, but it's difficult
Wow.
because, yeah, because you have the movements of the hands, and I have facility to understand some other language, but I think this is my goal for the next year. But I don't have in my personal life this nobody with this deaf people.
So interesting. Interesting. More, it's harder to easier to learn Chinese, which is a totally different alphabet. But I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense too, because now I mean you're using a different part of the body,
Yeah,
right? Like you're
yeah,
communicating. I mean, it's very interesting, and there's different sign languages in different countries as well,
yeah.
right?
It's
I mean,
not
it's very
universal language. It's not a universal language because in here in Brazil, we can say some word in one kind of jest, and in US you have another one, and in France another one, and in China another one. So maybe it's possible that we can give a globally language for the deaf people, but this is very difficult goal for everyone.
yeah, it's really interesting. It's funny you say that, right? Because I was thinking the same thing, but then I was also thinking, it's interesting that we would even suggest a global language for sign language, but we would never suggest a global language for audible language.
No, yeah,
I mean, people say, "Oh, the language of business might be English." I mean, selfishly, I'd like to believe that because that's the language I speak. But we would never be so. I would never say, I think just everybody should just learn English. Like, you know what I mean? So I would never say that, right? But like, it just shows like how easy it is to other people because they're just it's just we just don't understand. It's like there's just
yeah,
biases. Even when we're trying to be inclusive, we still have biases in our thinking that are ingrained in there. It's just we have to be so intentional about
yeah.
counterbalancing the biases.
Yeah, one thing that you mentioned is about the language and also the cultural training, intercultural training that you mentioned before. Um, is is more important that we send to the people the information about what country you want to go, one country you want to be live, because as the same here in Brazil, we have 5% of the population speaking more than that, no more than that. So it's good when you mention for okay, I came from United States to live in Brazil for 3 years. You need to know that. So and you go to the market, you speak English? No. So you need to learn Portuguese. And is
Yeah.
accomplish is you need to do a language training as well, because you need to understand for the next 3 years of your life and your wife and your child, you need to understand some words in Portuguese that you know about because Jana, but obrigado and sampa as well. But
Mhm, mhm.
it is good to the expat and also the HR know the important that for intercultural training and language training run together.
Yeah, that's a great point. Let's see here. Douglas is saying, wonderful case Danilo brought to us. I helped a blind expat in the past. It was from Brazil to the US, and he was in the US until today. One thing I want to hear from Danilo, if he knows how it works with the new colleagues in the host country.
Yeah, good question. Thank you, Douglas. Thank you, Doug. Yes, uh, is the most important thing is uh, the training for the team that will receive this spec. Because one thing is the spec receive the intercultural training, but the team that will receive this spec will receive the same training. If you will receive a manager is a blind or deaf people, uh, the you need to do that or do not that, do's and don'ts. You can give the do's and don'ts to say you do that, but don't do's and that anyway. And one thing is give the opportunity to the team know is what we work the blind people. You have more time to understand the part of the particular in the computer, on the mobile phone and everything. But one thing is give the opportunity to the team, receive that person and say, okay, you are part of my team, you are my manager, and or not, you're the part of the group, but give the same intercultural training. Say this is a Brazilian going to US and he's blind. You have some difficulty to walk around. You need to give some space. I don't know, but this is one thing that we try to mention for is do the same intercultural training that we do for the expat is the most important for the team that receive this professional.
Wow. So not only giving the intercultural training to the expat, but giving it to the team as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. In the past, in the past, I have one good stuff to mention. In the past, we do intercultural training before the HR op the role for contract someone in the company. They open the I forgot the name in English, but they open the role and say, oh, you can apply for this opportunity. But before that, they do intercultural training for all the company. I say, oh, this opportunity is for Stockholm, for Swedish, and you want to go there? It's very cold. They have winter all the year. They have night almost the year, and more than half the people that apply for the job, they say, okay, no, I don't want to go, my wife don't like that. And one thing maybe is, and one thing that I try to sell, as Talita mentioned, the cultural shock is to break this cultural shock, not just for the person or the professional that apply for the job, but maybe for the family as well. Because maybe you can apply for living in Finland, but your wife like to live in Finland or Denmark. I don't know. So you need to understand if she have or your partner have the same object and the same accomplish that you have, the goal that you have.
Yeah. She rarely does. She rarely does. That would be some great training if I could get that. No, I think that's a great point. It's a great point, and it really speaks to the role in intercultural training, selling the assignment to the employee, right? Because I mean, that's what this whole relocation and global mobility industry is about. I mean, yes, there are compliance aspects that are have to haves like immigration, right? But most of this is about is an employee benefit to ensure that the employee is made whole and comfortable and wants to go, right? I mean, this we're not in the military, right? We don't just send people off to the other part of the world and they have to go, right? We have to convince them that they want to go, that this is an assignment they want to do. And that means uprooting them from everything that they know now and helping them know what they're getting into is part of the sales process to me. I mean, because and now as a business owner, and we've talent all over the U.S. and now Jana in Brazil and Hannah in the Philippines, and it's like there's sometimes I think in my head, I'm like, hey, do I want to move people around in order to have the right talent in the right place to do the right job? And just because I want them to do it doesn't mean they want to do it. Right.
Yeah.
So I have to make it palatable. I have to make it something they want to do. And so it's an excellent point that you have there. This is interesting. Let's see here. Nicole, many intercultural trainers are trained in D&I as well, so they can at least help the family understand the general perception of people with disabilities, how we talk about certain disabilities in that country, etc. Ooh,
Mhm.
good point. Let's see here. Um, Talita says am I pronouncing that right? Danilo?
Yeah,
Talita?
Talita. Yes, yes.
Thank you. We always talked about that, right, Danilo? It is part of our jobs to understand the family needs. It is like an investigation, quote unquote, at the beginning of the process so the relocation can be successful. And the companies need to understand the policy should be flexible, adaptive to the assignee and family. It's interesting that the word choice here of investigation.
Almost like CSI.
Yeah, it's like an investigation. And
Yeah.
because it feels like they're asking a lot of questions and they may be from another country or going to another
Mhm.
country, there's a lot of stakes riding. I talk to people who are in the immigration industry and they talk about the trauma and the emotion of
Yeah,
going through these processes, right? And Jana brings up an excellent point here. This is just such a great thread here of conversation. Keep these comments coming, please. This really enriches the whole experience for everybody. Jana says, as any minority, they tend to hide the details because unfortunately they are used to losing opportunities by expressing their special needs to the reason why parents would hide this topic. So as minorities, people from other countries or other areas, or people with different disabilities, I mean, othered people are used to losing opportunities, and so they hide these things. And it's really fascinating
yeah,
how
yeah.
how do we infuse the investigation with a more inclusive feel and build trust in that process.
Yeah, as a commercial manager, as a salesperson, I do more questions to understand the needs. So it's the same for relocation. It's the same for the mobility process that you need to understand. Okay, who is Ben? Who is his wife, his children? They have some specials. They not. They have some allergies for that or not, and we need to investigate. So as Talita mentioned, thank you Talita for mentioning that because we need to do a CSI and the family. You jump inside the family, say no. We need to discover everything but we as the GDPR process we need to keep this with us and we need to understand all needs and this is good because it's one thing that we can discuss in the policy process and also in the lump sum process as well because we can uh, do a better job with the HR and go forward and say no, this policy is not update. And one thing that I saw here in Brazil is when I have a meeting with the companies and I mention, you have a expat policy? No, doesn't I don't have. So no, you must be have because it's very important, not for you, but for your expat, for your CEO, for your director, because you can protect you for all the stuff that you may have in the future. And one thing is important that you have the policy, but I think this is a good way that we can jump forward and try to help more the people.
You know, I'm thinking it's a great point. I'm thinking about this whole dynamic of how we get this information from an expat in order to help them, right? And one of the things, I mean, there's asking questions, which can sometimes put people on the defensive, even though it's because we want to help them. There's telling people they need to do something because it's in their best interest. One of the things I've found is that in order to build trust, I like to experience share. I like to share of myself and become vulnerable. And if I can model vulnerability, then maybe someone else will reciprocate, right? So if I can say, when I relocated my family, my wife found it very hard to assimilate to the area because this and this, or we have kids that, maybe my son is on the spectrum, of autism or something of that nature, and so we found it hard to find a school, but because I leveraged my DSP and they knew of a school over here that also spoke English, we were able to find it, and he made friends, and things worked out well. Something of that nature. We start to experience, share, make ourselves a little vulnerable. I know it's a little outside maybe the scope of the relocation consultant's job description, right? Because I mean, they have a whole lot of files to go through, and people to work with, right? But it's just one of the little things that I've noticed can sometimes help.
Yeah, no, one thing that I try to do as with my team, and as Talit mentioned, is one thing that we try to do is you need to do a good report to the person on other side of the camera, or personally, see, okay, I trust in him, I trust in this person, I trust in this mobility advisor. I say, no, I give all the information that I have, because this is the person that we fight for myself, fight for my side, with the HR, or with the temporary accommodation, the permanent accommodation, the intercultural training, and is our job. We try to fight with the expat and the family, in all the process, and the beginning until the end. So we try to do a good report, and see if it's possible or not. But it's difficult. They open the life and say, okay, my heart is yours. This is difficult.
Yeah, it's hard to build that level of trust, right?
Yeah.
This is interesting. Hit that like button. Appreciate y'all getting into the chat and the conversation. It makes it so much better. We wouldn't have a show without all of you tuning in, watching. You too, dog. We appreciate you being here as well, and making your voice heard. This is a lot of fun here, but I want to get into. You know what? Let's play a little bit of a game, Danilo. You seem like a fun guy. Okay, I don't want to just blanket statement. All Brazilians are fun. I don't want to say that. Okay, we know there's some not fun Brazilians out there, but you, Danilo, you seem like a fun guy. Is that accurate, Danilo?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. I'm going out on a limb here. If you know Jana, you must be good. So, and Patricia too. So, let's play a little game. Okay. You want to play a game with me?
Danilo? Yeah. Let's go.
All right. Here we go. It's not football though. Okay. Because you'd kill me in that. Okay. It's a game. It's a game we call overrated, underrated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Overrated, underrated. All right. Are you familiar with this concept, Danilo?
Yeah. Let's go.
All right, here we go. There's only 2 rules in this game. Okay. The first is I will provide you a topic, and you have to tell me if it's overrated or underrated. Those are your 2 options. Okay.
I would try.
There may be a request for evidence in this process. Okay. So just know that I may need more information. You may have to defend your point. The second rule is I will then tell you if you are correct. All right. Let's see what happens. All right. Number 1, overrated, underrated. Technology solutions.
Technology solutions.
Overrated or underrated?
Overrated.
Wow. Okay. I have a request for evidence. Tell me more.
Okay, let's go. I think that when we talk about the technology transforms the way that we navigation globally, we think more the solutions about that, how we can help more or not. So as the same for the AI that Nicola mentioned before, the AI help us or doesn't help us. So I think that the ChatGPT is in English. I don't know the you can mention that is good for all the people, but maybe it's not. Maybe you can give some opportunity not to do the best job, but to understand the needs of the other side. So I think the solution of technology is to understand how can I use this better for myself and for my sites, for my partners, for my colleagues, and everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, technology solutions. Interesting, broad topic, right? Broad, almost unfairly broad. But I think there is a huge emphasis on it. Now that I've turned 40, I now have become an old man overnight.
No, no, come
And
on.
now, yeah, no, no, it's
I'm
true.
almost that. I'm almost there. So.
Yeah, oh, it's coming. You will wake up one day and you'll be like, I hate technology. Trust me, it'll happen. Okay. So,
You do asking for your son. How can I do this in my mobile? You do that or not yet?
no, I say, how do I make a TikTok? And they're like, I don't know how to make a TikTok. And I'm like, well, you need to go get a job then. Either you're on TikTok or you got to get a job. I think it is overrated. I think we put too much emphasis on technology. And you know what? I think we underemphasize process. I
Yeah,
think using the same technology that we have today, but re-engineering the process and where we fit it in, to me, I think that's really the secret sauce. The tech is just one of the ingredients, but the process is the recipe.
yeah, yeah.
Oof,
I
that's
agree.
good. Somebody
Oh,
should write that down. That was good.
you good at
All right.
that?
Yeah.
Better than I.
Wow, that's the cachaça talking. All right. Let's see here. All right, moving on here. All right, let's get a little more specific. AI, overrated or underrated?
Underrated.
Underrated.
Yeah,
Okay.
underrated. Yeah.
Why is that?
I think that the people don't understand the how AI can help us. So we try to okay, this AI is not help us a lot. I know the new technology in WhatsApp 2 weeks ago that you can send uh, a, a long audio and they translate for you and script and you can read all the stuffs. So it's good because I have some people that send me 3 minutes, 4 minutes an audio, and I say, oh no, come on, I can I, I can't. This is impossible, no. And I say, okay. I send to the AI, and the AI translate all and give me the words. And, oh, that's good. Okay, that's good. No problem. But I think it's underrated because now is on the peak of the iceberg, but this more bigger that we know the technology, the Google and all the technology, they listen us. And then one thing that we don't know is the AI is help us in the future, maybe, but for now, I think is underrated for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think you're right that we're still trying to figure out how to plug it in, and we know that it's going to be a disruptive force, and we know that it's so powerful, but we're still struggling to plug it into our processes. And right now, there's all these little one-off programs, right? One will make pictures, one will write copy for you, one will translate, one will, you know, give you a better LinkedIn headshot. But how does it all come together into one full stack technology solution where, or how do we, how does it embed, to your point with WhatsApp, how does it embed to our existing,
Yeah.
um, our existing applications? I think that's interesting. All right, I got a tough one for you. Oh, by the way, you're correct. So you're doing well. You're 2 for 2. All right, I got another one for you here. This one's gonna be hard.
Mhm.
Hearing,
Hearing.
hearing, overrated or underrated?
Uh, uh, It's difficult.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I try not to make them all easy here. Okay. It's
yeah. No,
sometimes these
you.
are too easy. It's like
Yeah, overrated.
overrated.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think.
That's gonna be an interesting one. What do you mean?
I think it's overrated because, as I mentioned, as a salesperson, we need to understand the particularity and understand all the needs for the clients. And one thing that I try to do is in here in Brazil is to give more opportunity to speak. So, and from my side, I need to hear. So, uh, I think that if everyone can stop and hear sometime and say, no, go jump and speaking at what you need, we can understand all your needs, and I can try to be a better person for that. But I think it's overrated. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have a very hearing centric culture. I don't know what percentage of the world is deaf. Do you happen to know what percentage of people are deaf or hearing impaired? I don't know. I don't even is it
But here in Brazil or around the world?
let's say Brazil. Let's say Brazil.
Uh, I don't know. No,
Ooh,
I have the information about the part of the disability, but not the part of the just in instead of the deaf persons.
yeah, because I mean, our it's very audio first. Although I'm seeing a lot more subtitles and a lot more like even like watching Netflix or something, I'm seeing like subtitles. Like I like subtitles, right? I mean, and now it also opens me up. I watch subtitles in English language stuff, but it opens me up to French language or other place things from around the world. So I see us coming along with. I mean, you see videos on Instagram or whatever, right? And they're subtitled all the time, And so I think we're starting to normalize subtitles a little bit more. So I think that's actually kind of cool. But yeah, I can't imagine living without my hearing. Although, again, turn 40, all of a sudden you don't hear as well as you used to. Okay.
No,
I'm always
but
running around.
don't
What?
worry.
What?
I do the same
What?
with 38. I do the same with 38. My wife is in the now is okay. He's almost landing in Miami, but she's planning to go to Miami from São Paulo to Miami, and I every time she say, "Why you some diff?" Because I can understand it. I speak a very low, and you can understand. And when I get lower, you can go more lower for me and say no. Okay, I'm maybe a little bit diff.
Yeah, it happens. All right, here's one for you here. All right. You ready for this one? I told you they're going to be hard.
Come
Okay.
on,
Messy.
Pelé.
Well, this isn't like word association or just like you don't get to choose the topics.
No,
Okay. All
okay,
right.
okay.
I choose the topic. You give me
Uh,
overrated or underrated.
I'm fast, Pelé. If you say Fangio, I say Senna.
So Messi. Is Messi overrated or underrated?
Overrated.
Wow. All right. Why? Why?
Okay, okay, let's do this. Uh, I don't think his Messi is the best one. Okay, he is the best one in his moment. But if we compare with Pelé or Maradona or Cristiano Ronaldo, is now in activity. Oh, Neymar. Okay, no, forget that. Forget. No, Neymar is not on my list. Uh, but I think as Messi is a part of team. You know, I think Messi is because they have Barcelona, they have the part of all team. They do the job and give the best opportunity for him. And he okay, give me the ball, and I say, okay, I do the dribbles and everything, but for for just a person, not Messi, it's Pele. Or
I
okay,
mean,
if you want to go for an in Brazilian, Cristiano Ronaldo is better than Messi.
wow, wow. But here's the thing, though. See, I know you're saying Messi is a product of his team, but I think what you have to remember is Messi makes his whole team better, whereas
Mhm.
Ronaldo doesn't seem to have as big of an impact on his team. I mean, unless I'm not listen. I don't know as much about the sport as you do, but I see Messi wins at the team level more often, on the national level and on the club level more often than Ronaldo does. Is that true or false?
No, true, true,
So
totally
so
true.
so you have an individual who, listen. The Messi's problem is he doesn't look like Ronaldo. He doesn't look like that guy, right? I mean, Ronaldo looks like God made him and put him on the field to be a soccer player and gorgeous human being all around. Messi is like this little guy, and he's kind of and doesn't look like he's supposed to be
A
that
normal
bad.
guy, a normal
And yeah,
guy.
he's super normal. Like you're at the
Super
grocery
normal.
store getting
Yeah.
bananas, and you're like, "Hey, pass me the avocados," and whatever. Like he's like a normal guy, right? He looks like he'd be coaching your kid's team. He doesn't look like he's going to be running around out there
Yes, true.
scoring crazy goals from all over the place, and yet he does. And that's why I think he's so incredible to watch, because you're like, this guy right here, and then like otherworldly. So and he makes people on his team better. And the fact that he came to the US and plays for Inter Miami now in
Yeah.
the MLS, I mean, that's pretty incredible what he's doing here for the game. Let's see here. Larissa says he creates a great atmosphere there. Yeah, yeah, true. Awesome. Hit that like button, get in the comments. Messi, overrated, underrated. I mean, we had to end on a bang here. Let's leave. I don't think we could have picked a better topic to end on there. Uh, Danilo, it's been incredible having you with us today. Thanks for letting us take this conversation all these different ways. Thanks for bringing these incredible topics of inclusion and deaf expat solutions to the picture here. I want to give you the opportunity to maybe have the final word here.
Oh, thank you, Ben. It's a pleasure, and I say for everyone is give opportunity for someone in around the world. Nobody in the cross that you can see, but give opportunity because they maybe can change your day, your week, your month, or maybe your life. So thank you so much for this opportunity. As Jana changed my life because I'm here now, and you as well. And thank you so much for this opportunity to give a little bit of words of the inclusion. And I'm not a massive Pele is better, but yeah, but. And Senna as well. I love the part of cars, but Senna is better than Fangio. But okay, I don't want to mention that. But thank you so much for this opportunity to be here and to meet you virtually. And if someone is needs some support for just some words for particularly call me, send a message, and it will be a pleasure to help you.
Wonderful, excellent. And I've learned obrigado, Sampa.
Obrigado. Sampa.
So now
You
I'm gonna
haven't
get more
hit
kids
you
in Brazil.
in here or no?
What's that?
You haven't been here in São Paulo, no?
No, I've not. I've not been to
Oh, come
Brazil.
on. No,
No.
you're my guest.
Yeah, I'd love to go. Jana's been trying to get me down there.
I say to everyone, my caipirinha is the best in the world.
Oh wow. Well, that's. I mean, that might be worth coming just to
Yeah,
find out. You know.
yeah, you can know that.
Now I might get down there. I might taste it. I might say Messi's better, but I don't know. I don't know. You know. No. No. No.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I can't wait. I can't wait to try it, Danilo. This has been fantastic. I've had a blast with this. Thanks everybody who's joined. Shout out to Brazil in the house. Everybody joining, making this conversation
Thank you,
so
guys.
phenomenal. I love the global audience, and stay tuned for tomorrow. We've got Wonjun from Supermove on tomorrow. So take care.